So there is a lot to unpack about how this free agency has gone so far. I mean, a lot here, guys. But the one thing I definitely want to touch on is a trade that happened before the free agency that I just haven't gotten a chance to make a video about. Before I get into all the things that I don't like, which is pretty much everything other than this trade. A lot of people hated this trade. It was, by the way, if you haven't seen the thumbnail, Chase Winovich for Mack Wilson from the Browns. I'm I've seen a lot of people hating on this trade, and let me tell you, this is my favorite move the Patriots have made in years. Um, I mean, they've made a lot of good moves. Drafting Mac Jones was obviously a great move. I don't know what it is with Max, but it seems to go well here. This this move is incredible. One of the biggest arguments I've seen people make to say that this was a bad trade, get ready for this, guys, was that Mac Wilson only has a 69 overall grade in Madden. That's one of the, that's one of the arguments I've heard. I I can't I can't with people, guys. Mac Wilson is exactly what we need. And if you remember earlier this year, if you saw it, I was talking about our biggest needs in linebackers with some actual speed was one of the biggest ones. Oh my God, how I hated seeing running backs just run to the outside and get right around our linebackers. Our linebackers are slow. They're old. Okay. And Chase Winovich didn't even hardly play last season. Let me just put that. I mean, that's the icing on the cake. We didn't utilize him because we have Josh Uche, we have Matthew Judon, and they're both better than Chase Winovich. I know it's a shame because Chase Winovich showed a lot of promise, especially his rookie year. And then even in 2020, there was some more, promise. But then 2021, things just fell off a little bit. And I get it. He didn't get as many snaps, but the reason being is because, again, Matthew Judon and Josh Uche are both better from the edge than Chase Winovich. They're both better. They're bringing in Chase Winovich situationally because Chase Winovich cannot defend the run. Uh, and Matthew Judon and Josh Uche aren't good at defending the run either, but Chase Winovich is just worse. So they were bringing him in mostly on third down, and even then, it wasn't leading to anything. I think he had 0 sacks last season, legitimately. Um, I can see here. I'm just looking at the when he was brought in 2021. He was brought in for 31 running snaps and then 81 passing snaps. So it's very clear they were avoiding having him there when they thought that teams were going to be running the ball. Um, because teams mostly run and pass semi equally. So that's obviously a pretty significant. That's pretty significant. Those numbers there, and also people call him a linebacker, but really, he had his most snaps from the defensive line. Let's see. Yeah, he lined up 3 times in the box and then 109 times from the defensive line. So he was always on the edge, guys. His Pro Football Focus rankings here in 2019 was 72.2, and that's the best of his career. That's really good, especially for a rookie. But then it fell off to 69.5 the next season, so a slight sophomore slump. But then in 2021, 55.6. So things were just deteriorating, and he was kind of an older rookie. I hate older rookies. This is a big pet peeve of mine. But when players are already 24, it's like they better be good already, or there's not going to be really time to develop them, and before you know it, they're going to be pushing on 30 and, already past their peak. When you draft a player and they're like 22, 21, that age, I feel like there's a lot more time for development. You get a lot more years with these players to just mold them into, who they need to be. And Chase Winovich was one of those older rookies. He's already 26.9. He'll be 27 on April 19th. So he's going to be 27. And it feels like we just drafted him a couple seasons ago. We did. We did just draft him a couple of seasons ago. Um, here's the real kicker, guys. Mack Wilson is only 24. He just turned 24 on February 14th. And he also was drafted the same exact year in 2019. So he has just as much experience as Chase Winovich, but he's a whole 3 years younger. He's 6'1". He's 240 pounds, so he's actually more of a inside linebacker. A lot of people were like, "Why are we trading Chase Winovich?" Because Chase Winovich is technically listed as an outside linebacker. I always thought he should have been moved to a defensive end. I don't care anymore though because he's not on the team. But a lot of people thought that we were just trading a linebacker for a linebacker, but there's a massive difference here between the two of these guys. Chase Winovich was the type of linebacker that we have in abundance, the same kind as Inferne Jennings, Josh Uche, Matthew Judon, Jamie Collins. Jamie Collins is a little bit more athletic, I will say that. But we have a lot of those outside edge rushing linebackers. We have tons of them. We're overflowing with that kind. The kind that we don't have are the kinds that can, run fast and cover well. Those are the things that we're really lacking, and those are the things that Mack Wilson is specifically really, really good at. He's not a pass rusher. Okay, this is his 2021 defensive grades. His overall defensive grade is 75.3 from 2021, which is already better than Chase Winovich ever had in his entire career. And it comes from the most recent season, and he's only 24. Just turned 24, which is great. That is super great. And then his run defensive grade is 73.5, so he is good at defending the run. Usually those, guys that are off the line of scrimmage get a better grade there because they, can move around and, try to find the hole where the running back is going to, etc. When you're on the defensive line, you're stuck where you're at for the most part, so you kind of just have to hope that the running back comes towards you. You get what I'm saying. His pass rushing grade is only a 56.5, so he is not a pass rusher, like I said. He is not remotely similar to Chase Winovich. This is the opposite type of linebacker. This is the kind of linebacker that we need, and I was hoping we would get, and now we have one. His coverage grade is a 70.1, which is a lot better than some of our cornerbacks have, so he's really good in coverage. He's really good at defending the run as well, so he's very versatile in that. I think he's going to be an excellent box defender for us. Matter of fact, he only lined up on the defensive line 27 times in 2021. He lined up in the box 153 times. He lined up as the slot cornerback 12 times. Again, he's kind of as good as a cornerback at covering in a way, and he's kind of quick. And even as the outside cornerback one time, which is also extremely interesting. He also has a lot of special team snaps as well, so he is kind of that Bill Belichick type guy. And then he was there for 81 passing snaps and 112 running snaps. So you see, that's a lot more even. He was there kind of equally with those. So they were utilizing him in both situations. You don't have to take this guy off the field unless he gets tired. He's going to be good for any type of play you're going up against. Pass, run, third down, second down, first down, fourth down. He's going to be able to be utilized in all of those snaps, and I think that's really a strong thing for him for sure. The one thing that does kind of suck is he is going into his contract year, so at the end of this season, he is going to be needing to get an extension. But that was the same thing with Chase Winovich as well. Again, they were drafted the same exact year, so they're both going into their fourth years in their rookie contract. And I don't believe either of them had an extension early, so I think they're both going into the end of their rookie contracts. But I just like Mack Wilson for what this team needs a lot more. People were hating on this because they never heard of Mack Wilson, but really, what did Chase Winovich do last season? I'm going to come back to this because I didn't talk about his kind of categorical grades here from 2021. I just wanted to break this down real quick for you guys. His overall defensive grade, again, was a 55.6 overall. His run defensive grade was a 67.2. Again, it's not as good as Mack Wilson, but it was okay. It wasn't god-awful, but it was okay. But he wasn't there for a lot of running snaps. He was there for a lot of those surprise third down running snaps that teams try to do. So that's not consistent running snaps that he was defending against. Again, he only had 31 defensive snaps against running snaps and 81 against passing snaps. They clearly only brought him in passing situations. His pass rush grade was only a 48.9, and that's supposed to be his strong suit. He's supposed to be a strong pass rusher. He's an edge defender, and he just wasn't even good at that. And then his coverage grade was only a 63.3, but he's not even fast. Again, he's an edge defender, so he's not super quick. He's kind of big. He's 256 pounds, and he's just kind of bulky. You guys have seen him run. He's not he wouldn't line up at cornerback like Mack Wilson would. That's the best way to put it. He wouldn't be lining up as the slot cornerback. That would be an absolute disaster. So I think that's all you need to know. He did line up in the box 3 times, though. So overall, guys, I love this trade, and I think you should too. Mack Wilson, it seems like he has a ton of upside. He's only 24, and we've seen the development tree. Again, Chase Winovich had to be ready right away when we drafted him, and he was. He was a 72.2, but then a 69.5, and then a 55.6. So we've seen this regression where his best year was in 2019, his worst year was this year, and Mack Wilson is the exact opposite. His worst year was his rookie season. He was a fifth round pick, by the way. So, and he was, I guess, 21 in 2019. He had a 41.4, so he kind of sucked in his rookie season. But the thing is, his best year is his most recent year, 75.3. So he's been able to develop. He was younger, and he's allowed to have that time to develop when you come into the league at 21 because you have the time to develop. And that's what we've seen with him. And as long as he can keep up this momentum and continue playing well like he did last season, I think this trade is going to be a clear win for the Patriots. But really, when it's the Patriots trading with the Browns, it's kind of what you expect, obviously. But I love this trade, and I think Mack Wilson just fills a massive gap that this team needed. And Chase Winovich departing doesn't make me feel like this team will be any worse because of that. We didn't sacrifice anything, that we were going to utilize. Chase Winovich needed to be traded, regardless if it was for Mack Wilson or anybody else. But I love this acquisition actually. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm going to be touching on a lot of our offseason moves. I'm just waiting for everything to transpire. So far, I haven't loved the free agency. We've lost a ton of guys. It's been very disappointing, but this trade right here, the Chase Winovich Mack Wilson trade, has been the bright spot for me, honestly, from what I've seen so far this free agency. I'm looking forward to the draft. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about the things that I didn't like about this free agency. So be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to keep up with those future videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.